Hi everyone, my name's Stephen. I'm from Deltasine. I'm going to show you how to use Simplify3D, some of the cool features, and then I'm going to print out a bearing with supports. So let's have a look at Simplify3D. It's got a pretty cool visual interface panel here. We're just going to go ahead and import a model. And I'm going to find a, here we go, a test print that we need to do in with dual extruders. One extruder for the model and one extruder for support. And this bearing is quite a good one here because we have a close look at the bearing. This bearing prints in one piece and will spin. And if you just go ahead and prepare the print, then we can run the simulation. Turn up the speed, maybe change to layer, and you can see the simulation runs there. Turn the speed down a bit, and let's have another look. So you see there the ball bearings are getting printed, but they're actually just getting printed in thin air, so they need supports. So let's go back. So if we flip this model upside down, we can see the ball bearings, and we're going to go over to the right hand panel here, and we're going to manually define support. Of course we could do it automatically based on overhang angle, but I would rather put them in manually for this. So we're going to add new supports, and we can just go right ahead and put them at the base of each ball bearing. So if we print this, these supports aren't going to be big enough. They're going to wobble around. So let's just remove those. And here we go. Let's change up the size of the support pillar to say 7. There we go. That's bigger. That's good. So I'm just going to go around and put one of those supports on each of those ball bearings. Done. So now when you prepare the print, yes, enable support generation. Okay, great. There we go. So now we see the supports for each of the ball bearings is there. So next thing is, if you're printing on glass, this is a very thin support to be printing straight on glass, and if you don't want it to fail, you'll want to add a raft. So let's go back in, let's open up the advanced settings. So we're going to go to additions, turn that off, and we're just going to add a raft right there. Prepare to print, and voila, now you can see the raft. So now when the supports for the ball bearings print, they'll stick to the raft and it'll print great. So let's go back and I'll show you some other settings. Edit process settings. So we're starting here, the extruder tab. So all these settings will be set up. You can set them up with a profile, with an existing profile. I'm going to import my own settings for my machine for the Redback 2, and the material is PLA. Now most of these will already be set up, and you can download them from my website, from my forum. So that's cool. So basically here you've got your extruder, your nozzle diameter 0.4, extruder multiplier. Sometimes when I'm printing in ABS I might turn that up to 1.5, 1.1. Depends if you're seeing missing layers and not enough fill in your models. For this one, 1 is good. These retraction settings are pretty good for now. Let's go to layer. In here you might want to change that to 300 micron. That's for quicker prints. But if you want nicer finish, go down to 100 micron or even 50 micron. Top solid layers, bottom solid layers. If you're doing a 100 micron print, you probably want to up that to 10 because they're quite thin layers. First layer, you do want to turn the speed down just to make sure you get the model stuck down good on the bed. Additions. So let's turn that off. We don't want a skirt or a brim. We actually want a raft. I like this feature here too, how you can disable the raft base layers. That's a good function to have when you don't need a thick raft. Infill, you can see the infill percentage up here as well. For this bearing, we probably only need 10%. And support, we're going to turn that on because we've put supports in under the balls. Temperature, so you can set your extruder temperature there. And cooling, I've added a set point here to turn the fan on to 100% after the second layer, just to cool the PLA down. Got some other tabs here for G-code, scripts, and other. This is speed settings. I've got this turned down pretty slow at the moment, just for beginners. But the Delta can go a lot faster. Advanced settings here for tool change, retraction. We might turn those up to 5mm and turn that retraction speed up to 20mm per second. Okay, great. Now, because we are using dual extruders on this machine, we're going to have to add an extruder. So let's add an extruder and call it support. And let's set that to 1 and that to 0.4. So if you were doing a dual print where the model is actually printed with 2 different extruders, this is where you would click select models. This is where you would go in and select what process setting prints which part of the model. For us today, we're just printing one model with one process. So there's our second extruder. So let's go through the layers. We'll be printing with extruder 1. The additions, which is the raft, we're going to print them with the support extruder. And the infill will stay with extruder 1. But again, the supports, we're going to generate them with the support extruder. Then we go to temperature. Now we're going to need to add a temperature controller for the support extruder. So let's call it the same thing. So now we have the support extruder. And don't forget to change your temperature identifier to T1. Okay. And that's all done. Prepare to print. And it's ready to roll. Save it or print it over USB. It's saying it's going to take 2 hours at those speeds. 2 hours and 39 minutes. On the Delta, I can turn the speed up while it's running. So as soon as the first layers are down, I'll crank that speed right up, probably double that speed. Also in here, you can click on the model to check its sizes and dimensions, scale it up or down, rotate it, stuff like that. More good features, more awesome features. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this slicer at the moment. There's some repair tools at the top here. Yeah, it's really good, really enjoying it. And I'm going to go ahead now and put this print onto my Redback 2 and show you the results after this. Thanks for watching. Here we go, here's the finished print. Not bad. And there's the supports.